This is Hannibal from the HannibalTV.com with my second news update for today, September 12th. The first update was me going over all the main notes from the Wrestling Observer, but there's been more daily news that has taken place tonight. The big news is NWA has announced that Jim Cornette will be announcing their studio TV tapings later this month. That supposedly there's only a few hundred tickets on sale for that since it is in a studio, and there's still tickets available. So I guess the champion of the NWA now is not really a draw, which I was already well aware of. And by the way, I did send an offer to the NWA at one point for their champion to come and face me in Great North Wrestling, and they never answered. So obviously they knew I could defeat that guy. Taking over AXT TV is the Friday night MMA show is finished. I understand the last episode is probably going to be tomorrow night, and at one point that was the highest viewed show on the channel. So that's kind of a disappointment for the fans of AXT TV. I forgot to mention this in the Wrestling Observer recap earlier today. The Impact Twitch viewership from this week was under 3,500 viewers on average, and for the main event between LAX, which was their last match on Impact against Josh Alexander and Ethan Page, it only had 3,200 viewers. Joey Ryan has also supposedly signed with Impact Wrestling, so for the Joey Ryan fans out there, he is now back with Impact, where I think he was first discovered. AEW, of course, are going to be starting their show on October 2nd from the sold-out arena in Washington, D.C., while NXT will be airing their show from Full Sail University in front of 400 fans. They're going to be running Full Sail supposedly all the way till the end of the year, which should be interesting because we have seen, if nothing else, AEW has had good production values overall and a good, cool look to the show. So that compared with NXT in a small venue that we've all been seeing clips of for the past numerous years, definitely AEW will be more interesting from a visual standpoint, and also the crowd week after week at Full Sail is likely not going to be as excited to see wrestling as some of the towns that AEW is going to, such as, Boston's a huge wrestling town. Philadelphia, as much as I hate it, it's a huge wrestling town. It's going to have a way hotter crowd than NXT. And according to the Wrestling Observer, WWE is always using the excuse for their low viewership that less people are watching TV, but supposedly the NFL is still getting consistent ratings all these years, particularly with young people, whereas with young people, the wrestling has definitely dropped significantly. There's less young people watching wrestling, and I remember during the Attitude Era in the late 90s, everyone was wearing wrestling shirts. No matter where you looked, you hardly ever see wrestling shirts outside of wrestling events these days. So that's my nightly news update. I posted for Throwback Thursday a match of Psycho Sid versus Jinder Mahal from Great North Wrestling. Jinder Mahal and I used to be very close friends, and he wrestled for Great North Wrestling a lot before he was signed. He actually did the WWE tryout camp after the one I was signed from because he saw that I got signed. So he thought it'd be a good opportunity for him. And he was signed, and he's doing well there. So although I have not talked to him for a long time, I'm happy that he's made good money because he was always nice to me. Someone's saying a lot less people watching wrestling. Thomas H is saying that. There are only like 10 watching me now. Well, by the time the end of the week goes on, there's going to be a lot more than that. My peak viewership time is actually between 12 a.m. and 3 a.m. That's a fact from my statistics, but I'm a one-man show. I have over 80 million video views in 5 years, 120K subscribers, and that's me, myself. I'm not Impact Wrestling with a massive budget. I'm not Joey Corgan or whatever the frig his name is, Billy Corgan, a multimillionaire. I am Devon, Hannibal, Nicholson, one individual with self-taught video editing skills. I do everything for this channel. So I think I'm doing pretty damn good for being a one-man machine.